Okay, so that was an interesting week. I think overall my portfolio ended up basically where it was about a week prior. But Friday was an interesting day. It was a green day for me. I know for some of you, as I look on the Discord, it wasn't. That some of you did not have a good Friday. I consider a good Friday or a good day as any day that I make more than I made in my first year after I graduated from college. I graduated from college in 1966 from Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana. And I went to work for Purex, and they paid me $6,000 a year, $500 a month, $250 every 2 weeks. But wait, they gave me about a 1964 Chevrolet as a car to use, and it was not really that good a car. But a day is a good day if I make more in that day than I did in the first year I went to work after college. So it was a good day. So what are we looking for next week? Well, I think some things happened last week that are very worth noting. Our Judicial Committee within the House of Representatives kind of anointed Apple, Google, Amazon, and Facebook as the emperors of big tech, as the emperors of digital society, of digital economy, and pretty much put the crown on them that you folks control the world. You folks control the economy, and we need to step in and control you. Do I disagree? No, I don't. But do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't. But this is the world we're in, so we need to adapt to it. So my strategy for next week is to continue to buy into the emperors of the digital economy. And so I'm looking for what I call gaps. If you've been with me at any length of time, you know that I believe that the market tends to, and I don't know why this happens. I'm sure nobody is guiding it, but it tends to fill gaps, such as Apple gapped up on Friday. It left a gap at 385. Do I believe that Apple will come down in price and fill that gap on a chart? Yes, I do. I believe if you're looking for a buying point into Apple, that should be your guide. As you see it drop and you say, well, should I buy now? Should I buy now? Look at that 385 gap. If it's going to drop, it'll come down and cover it. Google has a similar gap that dates back to July 1st at 1445. I actually put in an order Friday at a limit to buy it at 1445. I think it got down to about 1455. But again, if we have bad news, if we have something, look to be able to buy Google at 1445. Amazon, July 30th, yes, it gapped up. Its gap now is at 30.92. But look also to July 16th, and you'll see a gap at 26.20. Do I think it'll get down to 26.20? No, but be aware it's there. And if something happens, if some disaster happens, be aware that 26.20 is an opportune buying point. Microsoft on June 15th gapped at 189, and Facebook just Friday gapped at 235. Now, is it logical that Facebook would come back to that? Well, go to your charts and your daily charts and look at Facebook had a gap from 227.50 on June 30th to July 1st, and it was 227.56. That's a 6 cents gap, and it went on up. It went on up from July 1st to July 13th up to 250.65, but it came down on July 21st and filled that 6 cents gap at 226.90. So is this something that somebody, the gods of the stock exchange, say, hey, we got a gap, we got to bring that price down. No, I suspect if it has anything to do with anything, it has to do with somebody's algorithm, somebody's computer trading program that says this is where there is a target price, a signal, whatever you want to call it, that they try to fill. So that being said, that's my activity for next week. Because, again, I want to buy into the emperors of the digital economy. There's a lot of talk, and it generated from that. And actually, it's been generating for some time. Have we passed the age of entrepreneurship? Is it no longer possible for someone to go and create a company and build something like Jeff did in 1994, 95, went public at $18 a share and is now up to $3,000, and your $10,000 would have turned into $20 million. Is that no longer possible? Probably not. And the reason is because we now have private equity. As I was talking to you, money trickles down. Money trickles down. It comes into your hands in the form of an unemployment check, which, by the way, the $600 you receive from the government because you're employed is more than I made a month when I graduated from college at Ball State University in 1966 and went to work for Purex. You're making more in a week than I did in a month. But I don't hold that against you. So what's happening is that you're building a company, you're an entrepreneur, and you're building the company, and you need capital to take you to the next stage. Well, in the past, back from 80 to 2000, that capital had to come from an IPO. You became public, and other people said, yeah, I want to invest in you, and they bought shares in your company. Well, as that money has been trickling down, actually since 2008, when the federal government started throwing money at us and continues to, it ends up in a reciprocal, and that reciprocal belongs to the very, 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 very wealthy. And they say, do I want to go buy stock in Amazon, or would I rather take my money and go to this startup who has enormous potential, and I will invest in it and help them grow, these very sharp young people, and help it grow, and we'll keep it off the market, and then we'll have not so much the option to make it a public offering at some later date, but to be bought out as a defensive measure from Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and Facebook. That's what's happened. I did a little research because I wanted to know. In the last several years, Apple has bought 77 companies, Amazon 84, Apple 108, Google 235. These are all companies that never became IPOs. So as you sit and you read and you say, hey, there's this new startup company that has this great idea, and they're contemplating going to an IPO, and maybe I can buy it at $5 or $18 a share, and in 24 years it'll be worth $22 million. There are other people who work for Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and Facebook who are seeing the same thing and go to these entrepreneurs and these investment bankers who are not bankers, but investors who have already financed this company and buy them out for $5 billion. So is that a better way for the entrepreneur? Well, I think a lot of entrepreneurs feel it is, because you look at who is out now starting a new company, and it's somebody who sold a company before. Jack Dorsey sold another company. Mark Cuban sold a company. All these very, very wealthy people, many cases, sold their companies to one of the Googles, the Apples, you know the list. So then What are some of the companies that these folks bought? Well, you know them: Instagram, YouTube, Android, Waze, Nest, Twitch, Zappo, Beats, WhatsApp, Opulus, and the list goes on. So these are companies that you would have possibly wanted to invest in as an IPO, but you never got the chance to. Mark and Jeff and the others went in and bought it in front of you, and so they aren't getting to market. So, is this the best thing for the stock market, for the economy, for us as individual investors? No. We won't be able to buy another Amazon at $18 a share under the current arrangement. Now, will it change? I don't know. But as an investor, it is what it is, and I have to adapt to it until it changes. And I don't see it changing in this next week. So since I don't see it changing next week, my plan for this week is to find a way to gain more ownership of these 5 companies. Now, am I looking at other opportunities? Am I investing in Tesla? Yeah, I'm investing in Tesla, and if it drops down and gives me an opportunity to come in, yeah, I will. Am I investing in CRISPR? Yeah, I'm getting a little beat up in CRISPR, but I believe CRISPR has enough traction and has enough talent that it is going to be one of those companies that is going to change the way that we live and the way that we survive. I'm reading a book called Lifespan, and it's telling me all about what I need to do to live to be 150. What I need to do to literally change my genome within my body, to get my cells to go and make corrections from damages that I've put upon my body in past years. Maybe from getting my teeth x-rayed too many times, maybe from eating too many spicy foods, maybe from eating too much red meat. And it's basically telling me I need to sometime go into a starvation diet so that my cells say, hey, Carrie's in trouble, we need to go to work. And put his body back in shape. So I think CRISPR is one of those companies. And so I am, and I did this last week, put some money into it. So that's my take on next week. I know I just keep beating the drum on these 5 companies of Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and Facebook. But the fact is, that's the world we live in today. There's a reason they pulled them in or videoed them in, because they're afraid that they're going to take over the digital economy. I'm a little bit afraid about our president coming out and saying that he's not going to allow TikTok in the United States. I don't know what that means. I know what it means, but I don't know what the ramifications are going forward. It reminds me too much of the relationship I remember with the United States and the Soviet Union back when I was growing up, and we called it a Cold War. I just see us going back to a situation where I'm looking up as a 11-year-old boy and seeing an airplane flying over and wondering if I need to duck and cover, because at that time Russia might drop an atomic bomb on Champaign, Illinois, and blow me away. I don't want us to ever get into that situation again with a country like China, let alone a country. I think for some reason North Korea just disappeared. Maybe it's the news. What's hot, what's not. So that's my next week. That's what I'm going to be doing. I suggest you do something similar.